After holding a players-only meeting this weekend and crushing the Orlando Magic on Saturday night, there's a lot of anticipation to see how the Toronto Raptors will perform against the league's best team. And unfortunately for the Raptors, while they did have some strong performances, while there were some great moments, they couldn't get it done against Boston this one and had a pretty frustrating loss. So we'll break down this game as well. You saw it in the thumbnail. We have a major giveaway to give to you guys. So we'll announce how that's going to work at the start of this vid. So a bunch of stuff to dive into. Without further ado, let's jump straight into it. Hello everybody, Ben Rogers here, the Raptors side, just breaking down the Toronto Raptors 116-110 loss to the Boston Celtics. And this one, while there were some good moments, was frustrating. But I want to announce the giveaway because I know a lot of people are going to be interested in that. And as we mentioned in a video last week, we were fortunate enough to partner with Coolbet, who are a sportsbook that are regulated in Ontario and Canada. And if you guys are interested in sports betting, there's a bunch of people that have been hitting us up over the past year to integrate at least some sports betting content into the channel. And, while we're definitely not pushing converting our channel to a sports betting, integrating to all of our content, we will add some segments, especially in the live watch-alongs that Goody will be doing. He was actually at the game there tonight against the Boston Celtics, so he wasn't able to do the live watch-along there in this one. But we're going to add some content, and we're fortunate enough to partner with Coolbet to help us out with all that. And they're going to help you guys out as well to start, right? If you guys sign up for their link below, just sign up for Coolbet. You don't even have to put down deposit to start, right? If you sign up for Coolbet using our link down below, send myself or Goody a message over Discord, over Instagram. Hit the Raptors Digest Instagram. We'll peep all those DMs now for the next day or so. We're giving away, for someone that does that, free tickets, 2 tickets to the Raptors Lakers game on Wednesday night. So that'll be given away. I'll announce that literally tomorrow night. I will select who's going to end up winning that. So I'll talk about it in this video. I'll talk about it in the vid we drop tomorrow. But you only have one day to really sign up and then send over to Goody that you've signed up. And then you also get to join our Cool Betters Discord chat that we're going to make predictions and parlays for games coming up, and especially to watch along during the live watch alongs, little predictions and stuff. So if you guys are interested in joining that group chat too, it's going to be make the games a little bit more fun, especially the watch along stuff. So definitely, you want those free tickets, the Raptors Lakers games, get to see LeBron, get to see AD. Definitely sign up for Coolbet, let us know, and then you'll be entered to win. So we'll randomly pick that tomorrow night. So do that ASAP. But we have a game to talk about in this one, and unfortunately for the Toronto Raptors, they weren't able to get this one done. Now, the Celtics, they're an amazing team. Their defense is elite, and even though they were injured, there's no shame in losing to the Boston Celtics. But there is shame when you fall into old habits, when you're falling into the same ruts that you've been falling into this entire season, especially when you have a meeting, a players-only meeting to hopefully sort things out. And yes, they didn't end up having a horrible start. In fact, they had a great start in this game. They ended up winning the first quarter. I need to get my glasses on, but they did not win the first quarter. They lost it by 27-25, but they were hot early to start. Then the game ended up going back and forth for especially the first half. There were a lot of lead changes, but unfortunately, in the third quarter, the Toronto Raptors just collapsed epically. And I got to throw on the glasses. I can't see the box score right now. But in the third quarter, they lost this game 35-18, and they made a push at the end. Right, the Toronto Raptors, as they do, always trying to make their comebacks after giving up a horrible run, whether it be to start a game or to start a half. But it wasn't enough once again to get the job done. And you're just not going to be able to get it done against a team like the Boston Celtics when you dig yourself that much of a hole. So it's an unfortunate sort of time, and there's lots of reasons, lots of points that we have to dive into this game. The first one, I'm making my opinion known. And I think this might be contrarian to what a lot of Raptors fans believe. Still, to even this point, I'm not a fan of Gary Trent Jr. coming off the bench. I just don't like it. Now, sure, maybe it makes our starting lineup make more sense. And yes, we were able to come out to a great start against the Celtics team at the beginning of this game. But you look at the box score tonight. Gary Trent Jr., 7-10 from the field, only played 26 minutes in this game. You have guys like Fred playing 38. Scotty Barnes playing 41, OG playing 42, Pascal playing 40, and Gary only getting 26 minutes in this game and being our most efficient shooter on the team. Is that really what we want to be doing out here? Right? Would the Celtics have gone on that crazy third quarter run if Gary Trent Jr. was out there from the start? And the thing about Gary too, he's not that great when he immediately comes in off the bench. Right? He had a couple of very weird shots at the start of this game where it was he clanked an open three, missed a shot in the lane. He ended up passing right into, I don't think it was direct turnovers, but he made a couple passes immediately when he subbed in the first quarter that got deflected. It took him some time to ease into the rhythm of the game, and I feel like just coming off the bench, he gets inside his own head. His first shot he hit was a banked three, and then sold a second one. So it's like, Gary Trent Jr. doesn't look that comfortable coming off the bench. Our team just does not have enough shooting to have Gary Trent Jr. only play 36 minutes in this game. I know he hasn't been that efficient from behind the three-point arc this season, but he was 3 of 3 there tonight, and regardless of what the efficiency number said, we have enough of a sample size looking at Gary from last season to know he's probably our team's best shooter. You can make the argument for Fred, you can make the argument for OG. Some could maybe say, you know, Pascal Siakam, or if you want to go a weird route, you know, Juancho Hernangomez or something. But I'm going Gary Trent Jr. If the money's on the line, I'd want an open three there. I'm probably rocking with Gary Trent Jr. And the fact he's out of the starting lineup right now, the fact that he's, regardless of the starting lineup, because that is what it is, right? If he's still playing the 30 minutes, I'm less frustrated. But only 26 minutes for Gary in this one. Like, we already have an issue of playing our starters too many minutes. And now we're taking out one of our starters that should be getting a lot of minutes, not giving him enough run, and not redistributing those minutes to a guy, I don't know, like Delano Banton, Malachi Flynn. Juancho Hernangomez is currently injured, so he can't be getting even a Delano Banton, right? Like, they're not getting any minutes at this point, but they're just distributed more minutes to starters. And I don't think that's deserved, because we've seen guys have highs and lows. Yes, Gary was bad for a couple weeks stretch there before he ended up going to the bench, but he's played really well coming off the bench. I don't think it warrants getting less minutes. So that's my one gripe. That's my one take in this one that might be a little bit contrarian. I want the star boy to get his proper run, and he's in a contract year, right? And some people are saying we should trade him. I don't think it's not a good taste. It's not a good feel to devalue the guy bringing off the bench, right? Like, I don't like, especially when he's playing solid. And you know, we need exactly what he can provide in the starting lineup to help us win games. So the defense doesn't look that much better with Koloko out there. I mean, sure, Koloko's a rookie and stuff, and he has tremendous potential, but he was getting worked out there by Blake Griffin in the first half. Blake Griffin, who's what? I know he's only probably like 30, 31, but he feels like he's 50 years old, but he was rejuvenated enough in this game to have a monster dunk. Now, I thought Koloko played decent enough defense, but the Raptors defense is fine with Gary in the starting lineup. I think that's a route we have to go. And to build off that point, the shooting was just a brutal look for this team in this game, because you look at the box scores, right? Pascal went 2 of 4. Off the bench, we had Gary and Thad hit 2 of 2 and 3 of 3. But once again, 1 of 6 from the three-point line from Fred VanVleet. Once again, Scotty Barnes taking 6 threes in this game. Right, he played a solid game. I'm not bashing on his performance in this one, but again, he's way better attacking the rim, going to the basket. OG, definitely not going to throw any criticism the way of OG in terms of scoring for the season that he's provided, but didn't have his greatest offensive night in this one, but he had a huge test on the defensive end that I thought he honestly lived up to, right? So I'm not going to give any serious blame to OG for this loss, but we need shooting in our starting lineup. We just need it if we're going to beat elite teams. And the Toronto Raptors were amazing to start off this year, because we were in the upper echelon in three-point shooting teams for the first 2-3 weeks of the season. Then it absolutely fell off a cliff. Now, part of that's due to injuries, a part of that's players being in and out of the lineup with illnesses, day-to-day stuff. But regardless of that fact, we have guys on this team that haven't been hitting. Jack Armstrong made the note of it on the broadcast, how Gary Trent Jr., Scotty Barnes, and OG Anunoby. I don't know which 3 players. We have 3 of our main elite shooters shooting under 35%, and one guy that's taking the brunt of the criticism and probably deserves a golden kazoo to start off this vid is Fred VanVleet, who, yes, helps out our half-court offense. But I've been giving him credit. People also only look at our titles and then decide to comment, and they don't understand that I'm still probably the biggest Fred supporter still out here on YouTube, but he definitely does deserve his criticism in terms of his shooting tonight, and the fact that he really wasn't facilitating. And to be honest, the Boston Celtics were really giving him that mid-range look. They're opening up that middle lane. Fred VanVleet was able to get in there with ease, but just wasn't able to make them play with either a floater, with a midi pull-up. He had a lot of open looks in this game that really could have sealed the deal or helped the Toronto Raptors, seal a run. A couple down the clutch that really would have helped us, get back, claw our way back into the game. But he just hasn't been able to score efficiently, whether it be from inside the paint. He's, if not the worst, he's one of the worst, if not the worst, inside the lane, inside the restricted area finishers in the league. He's not really hitting his middies. His three-point shots have not been great. Again, 1 for 6 from the three-point line tonight. We just need more out of Fred VanVleet in terms of scoring the basketball. If he's not scoring, we can't just have him have 3 assists in this game, especially in 38 minutes. I know he's playing solid defense out there, right? Like, the intangibles of Fred VanVleet are very valuable and should not be overlooked and should not be neglected in reaction podcasts. This is why we shouldn't just sell him for absolute garbage on the open market, right? That's not what we want to do. But the criticism does have to be made in post games, and we need to figure something out with Fred VanVleet. And at this point, right, he's in a slump. I'm sure he'll bounce back out of it. I'm sure he won't be shooting this poorly from the field going forward in the future, but sooner rather than later, I'm hoping Fred VanVleet can knock down his shots, because we've seen what he can do last season, and when he's not injured, when he's not healthy, and obviously this season's been hampered with weird injuries, with weird health and safety protocol stuff going on, but or not health, just illnesses, that's what they're calling it at this point. But Fred VanVleet needs to step up if the Toronto Raptors want to get wins, and honestly, if he hits a few more shots, maybe the Raptors get the win in this one tonight. But it's that's the main guy that's taken a brunt of the criticism. Obviously, OG could have hit more shots. And like, that's the rough thing about this game. There were some strong performances. I know the Celtics are good, so you can't get too down on yourselves, but like 29 points for Pascal Siakam, 7 assists, 8 rebounds. Once again, performing against some top teams in the league, shooting 9 of 20 from the field, so remarkably efficient. Very, very few turnovers. You can't ask for a better game for Pascal Siakam. And while the stat line looks really good for Scottie Barnes in this one, 21 points, 7 rebounds, 4 assists, a steal, a block, 8 of 14 from the field. The three-pointers that he's shooting, just, I don't think he needs to be hoisting up that many, right? If he's not knocking them down at an elite clip, right, take 2 or 3 and then take your game to the inside. He's also not a bad mid-range shooter, so I don't know why, especially if he's 1 for 6, take a couple dribbles inside, right? Like, get something efficient. I know the analytics say, threes are worth more than 2, so all of these value things, but Scottie Barnes is a rhythm player, right? He's a guy that once his confidence is up, he plays at such a better level. So the value of just making a 2-point shot is higher for a younger player, because then they are sort of feeling themselves a little bit more. They're more confident in what they're doing, and then you get less plays forced. I thought every time Scottie Barnes missed a shot in this one, made a poor play, ended up forcing something the next possession, whether it be a full court pass or a drive underneath the rim where he leaves his feet and sends it off the bottom of the backboard and out of bounds, right? Like, there's growing pains. He's a second-year player. Jack made a good take on the broadcast, saying how he has very similar stats to Jason Tatum in his second year, who obviously could win MVP this season. So again, for people that only read the title or want to read into whatever's going on, no, I'm not out here going to criticize Scottie Barnes, saying we should trade him or get mad that we didn't trade KD for him this offseason, or trade for KD for him this offseason. But, it's growing pains with the young team, with guys like Scottie and stuff, and OG has developed. I thought Thaddeus Young played a solid game in this one, knocked down his 2 threes, got his rebounds, played good defense. Chris Boucher, 8 points, 9 rebounds, doing the dirty work, had a really much stronger first half than he did. Only played 16 minutes. Wasn't super noticeable out there, honestly, in the second half. So I'm not even, that's the crazy thing, right? Like, I watched this game, I'm not even, don't pick up the things in the second half. We just, we ran an 8-man rotation. You can see a lot of DNPs, coach's decision in there, and still only playing Gary Trent Jr. 26 minutes. I know the Raptors desperately wanted this win, but man, I think we could have used some more guys. But that's just my take on this one. Let's swing into the segments. And tonight, the Spicy P lay of the day. It's got to go to OG Anunoby out there. He had 3 steals in this one. It felt like he had more. It felt like he was just being a disruptor, especially in the first half when the Toronto Raptors had their games going, had their games cooking, right? And OG Anunoby is just a fiend out there, stopping the ball, staying in front, clamping up guys like Tatum and Jaylen Brown. Whoever he was switched on to had a really, while it's impossible to stop 2 All-Stars like that in every given possession, right? OG Anunoby makes it as difficult as possible. And tonight, his steals were mostly like interceptions and then going down and throwing down some dunks. But I love seeing the defensive plays from OG Anunoby. You want to give the credit there for him having his strong performance, but not all plays can be the Spicy P lay of the day. And some just make you say, oh OGs. And tonight, the OGs play of the day. Let's go into a couple. People are bringing up the Toronto Raptors fake comebacks in games where, they dig themselves a brutal hole. And then at the end of it, they give you this false hope to hopefully, maybe we win this. Maybe we have one of those crazy Dallas Mavericks performances that the Raptors notoriously had a few years back where they came back from a 30-point deficit. But it wasn't a 30-point deficit at any point in this game, but, they still made their push. They made their push at the end. And there's just a bunch of moments where the Raptors, this one felt like it was more in reach than some of the other fake comebacks we've made. But Gary, for as amazing of a performance he had tonight, missed an open layup that really would have been a nice momentum swinger. Jason Tatum's out here making me say, oh, geez, with some of the shots that he's hitting. Down the stretch, they're just dagger shots. He gets that open look, and I feel like he just doesn't miss it. As soon as he gets that inch of daylight, he's just an automatic bucket from behind the three-point line, from inside the paint. Got to give credit where credit's due. Right, OG, Scotty Barnes, the Raptors played solid defense on these guys, and Tatum still had 31 points, 12 rebounds. Jaylen Brown at 22 points, both solid, efficient shooting. So those two guys have taken their games to the next level, and there's a reason why the Boston Celtics are the #1 team in the Eastern Conference. Still, I'm going to be combatful. I'm still going to always feel like the Raptors are the better team than the Boston Celtics, no matter if we're the 15th seed and they're the 1 seed. Obviously, that's not the case this season, but you do have to give credit for them when their players have improved. They're very well coached. Mazzulla's out there done a tremendous job stepping in for Ime Udoka. So credit to the Boston Celtics. They hit some crazy shots at the end. And especially in that third quarter, which I'll get to. But Gary missed that layup. And Fred VanVleet, there was a moment the Raptors are down by 6, I believe. It was a fast break. Fred VanVleet was 1 for 5 at this point and caught the ball in the wing, hoisted up a little bit of a contested 3, and those are the shots. It's your spicy Pele if it goes down, but definitely no G's, if not a golden kazoo if it's missed. And Fred VanVleet just, unfortunately, he missed it. And I'm not mad at him for taking the shot. I like his confidence. I like his mentality to the game, but you miss it, you're making me say, oh, geez. But the final one, we already gave out one earlier in the vid, but the Paul Pierce Golden Kazoo Award of the evening. It's going to the Toronto Raptors in the third quarter. Just selling this game, giving up open 3 after open 3, turning over the basketball, and this was an issue at the start of the year. Delano Banta took a lot of heat for him getting subbed into the game in these just horrific runs. I know the Celtics are good, and it's not just the Toronto Raptors collapsing, but it was a mix. The Celtics hitting some tough shots, the Raptors leaving them open for some threes while the guys got into rhythm, and then things sort of steamroll, things sort of landslide, and the Raptors couldn't bounce back. They held off a nice Celtics run out there in the first or second quarter. Celtics hit a few threes, going up by 9. The Raptors hit a couple to bring it back, ended up tied and stuff, but Toronto just couldn't get their games going there in that third quarter, and it ended up being the reason for this loss. But I don't know. This Raptors team, we have a really, really big game coming up against the Lakers. We're going to need that W. The Lakers have been playing really well lately. Anthony Davis has been on another level, but I don't want to overreact to a loss to the Boston Celtics because pretty well every team in the NBA has been losing the Celtics, especially after they are a team that had they were motivated. They're coming in. They want to beat this Raptors squad. They want to be a first seed. They had a lot of drama on the offseason. So the Celtics want to be a good squad. So you can't overreact to a loss to that team, especially where it's only a 6-point game. But you want to see this Raptors team get a good win at some point. And hopefully we come out and beat the Lakers, who have been pretty hot themselves lately. And hopefully one of you guys can see it live. All you have to do is use the link in the description to sign up for Coolbet. Send it over a screenshot or something to Josh and I. Let us know, and then your name will be entered in a potential giveaway. We'll directly message whoever is entered into the raffle, whoever wins it on Tuesday night, and then we'll announce it and stuff. We'll give a day or so to sign up, but if you want to get in, do that right now because the game is on Wednesday. But folks, you guys are the best for making it this far. Appreciate everyone who's tuning in for a Toronto Raptors game loss. Best of luck for everyone that's hopping in the giveaway and stuff. But, definitely subscribe to the channel as well. I'm also mentally exhausted. Crazy day at work. Work like 12 hours in front of this one, so I apologize if I'm a little bit after a Raptors loss, working all day while getting this game deflated, a little bit more deflated on this video. But appreciate everyone that's watching the vid. You guys are the best. I'm signing out. Cheers.